I realized something was terribly, disgustingly wrong the moment I heard my mother screaming in the delivery room. Not from pain, but from fear. A fear I had never heard in her voice before. A fear that slashed through the sterile hospital air and sliced straight into my spine. And then the doctor said the words that shattered my world. "The father needs to sign here." And my boyfriend stepped forward. Not to help. Not by mistake. Not as a misunderstanding. He stepped forward like someone who belonged there. Like someone who had been waiting for this moment. Like someone who had done this before. That was the moment my entire reality collapsed. But I should start from the beginning, because apparently, this hell didn't start in that hospital. It started long before that. And I was the last one to know. My name is Alyssa, and for most of my 24 years, I was the responsible one. That was the label everyone slapped onto me. The daughter who always cleaned up after others, the one who stayed home when I wanted freedom, the one who worked 2 jobs while my mom floated in her universe of self-discovery, self-help books, and impulsive decisions. I wasn't bitter. At least, that's what I told myself. Someone had to be the adult in the house, and Mom, well, she tried. She really did. She had these phases: candle making, yoga guru, vegan chef, spiritual healer, and for a few months, an amateur life coach. None lasted more than a season, but she always said she was one step away from a breakthrough. I learned early on not to wait for that step. Then there was Ethan, my boyfriend of 3 years. Soft-spoken. Kind. Stable in all the ways my life wasn't. He worked as a mechanic and used to come home smelling faintly like gasoline and peppermint gum. I always teased him for being a mix of danger and innocence. I loved him. Or at least, I loved who I thought he was. And apparently, my mom loved him too. Just, in a very different way. Everything spiraled out of control 6 months before the hospital incident. And it all started with something stupidly small. A shirt. Ethan's shirt. In my mother's laundry basket. At first, I thought she'd borrowed it for gardening. She sometimes borrowed things without asking. Sweaters, mugs, food, my sanity. But a shirt wasn't that deep. "Hey, Mom," I called out, holding up the navy blue t-shirt. "Did you take this from Ethan?" She turned to me too fast. A deer-in-headlights kind of turn. "Oh, yes. Yes, I asked him. I spilled coffee on myself last week, remember? Thought I'd just borrow something comfortable." Odd. She hadn't left the house that day. But I brushed it off. I wish I didn't brush off so many things. Like the way she suddenly started going for walks every night at 9 p.m. Exactly when Ethan got off work. Or the way my dog growled at her more often. He never growled at my mom. Or the way she started wearing perfume again after years of not caring about it. Or the way she avoided looking at me when I asked how her day was. But the biggest sign, the one I somehow swallowed like an idiot, was when she sat me down one evening, took my hands and said, "Alyssa, if someone hurts you, would you want to know right away, or be protected from the truth?" At the time, I thought she was talking about my absentee father. Mom liked to get philosophical sometimes. I laughed. "Mom, I think I'd want to know." "Definitely." She nodded, slow and sad. Too sad. Now, I know she was asking for herself. And now, I know she chose the coward's path. The real unraveling began with her pregnancy announcement. She called a family meeting in the living room. Just me, her, and my half-asleep dog. She stood by the window, hands folded awkwardly over her stomach. "I'm pregnant," she said. I blinked. My breath froze. My heartbeat cracked in half. "You're what?" She gave this humiliated half-smile, the kind she used when she couldn't defend her choices. "I'm 4 months along." My throat squeezed shut. 4 months. 4 months ago had been the start of her night walks. I tried to stay calm, or at least appear calm, but my voice betrayed a tremor. "Who's the father?" She swallowed. Her eyes flickered away. And something inside me began to scream. "That's not important right now," she whispered. "Mom, who is the father?" She didn't answer. And that was the moment I felt the first seed of dread, the dread that would later swallow my entire world. Meanwhile, Ethan started acting weird too. He became protective in a way that didn't make sense. Overprotective. But not of me. Of my mother. He'd ask about her doctor appointments. Her cravings. Her due date. Her stress levels. Ethan, I said one night, why are you asking so many questions about my mom's pregnancy? He smiled, a tight, practiced smile. I'm just concerned. She seems overwhelmed. What does that have to do with you? He opened his mouth, then closed it again. I just feel responsible. Responsible. For my mother's pregnancy. And yet I still didn't connect the dots. Because who would? Who would assume that? Everything shattered the night my mom went into labor. Ethan insisted on driving her. He said I was too emotional. Too emotional? She was my mother. I wanted to be there. But he forced himself into the role of caregiver, pushing me aside, taking control, ignoring my confused protests. The entire ride to the hospital, he kept whispering to her. You're okay. I'm here. I'm right here. I sat in the back seat, watching their silhouettes, the two of them breathing in sync, and something inside me twisted into a shape I didn't recognize. Fear. But nothing, absolutely nothing, prepared me for what happened in the delivery room. Mom was screaming, but in pain and something else. Something like terror. The doctor asked for the father. And Ethan, my boyfriend, the man I planned to marry, stepped forward, confidently, automatically, possessively. I'm the father, he said. I don't remember breathing. I don't remember standing. I don't remember anything except the sound of my own heartbeat exploding in my ears like a grenade. My mother didn't look at me. She couldn't. And Ethan, he didn't even turn around. The doctor asked him to fill out paperwork. He nodded. He reached for the pen. And that's when I finally snapped back into reality. What are you doing? I screamed. Everyone froze. Ethan turned slowly, his face pale but resigned. Elwes, I'm sorry. My mom burst into tears. Real, broken tears. I felt the world tilt underneath me. Then Mom sobbed out the confession that destroyed the remains of my life. I didn't mean for it to happen. I didn't. He came to comfort me one night. We were both drinking. I was lonely. I was stupid. I was so stupid. Ethan whispered. Alyssa, it wasn't like that. Shut up. I screamed. Do not talk to me. Do not say my name. Mom kept crying. Hospital machines beeped. A nurse gasped. Someone closed the curtain. But I wasn't really there anymore. I was sinking into a nightmare. I ran. Out of the room. Out of the hallway. Out of the hospital. I don't even remember how long I ran. Just pavement beneath me. The smell of rain. The taste of betrayal strangling me like poisoned air. My mom. My boyfriend. My boyfriend. My mother. Those words repeated like a curse in my skull. For 2 days, I ignored every call, every text, every knock on my door. Until finally, Ethan showed up at my apartment. He knocked for 20 minutes before I opened the door. His eyes were red. His hair messy. He looked like he hadn't slept. Alyssa, he whispered. Please let me explain. I didn't answer. But I didn't slam the door either. And that was enough for him. He took a breath. It wasn't supposed to go this far. It wasn't supposed to be anything. Your mom. She was lonely. I was confused. We both made horrible decisions. We thought you'd never find out. I laughed. A broken, hysterical laugh. Thought I'd never find out. She was pregnant. He flinched. I know. And I was scared. I didn't know how to tell you. So you waited until she was literally giving birth? He didn't have an answer. Of course he didn't. Then he tried to reach for me. Alyssa, I still love you. I stepped back like he was a disease. Don't ever say that again. I blocked him. I didn't block my mother, not yet, but her messages were desperate, tangled, guilt-ridden. Please don't hate me. It was a mistake, one I'll regret forever. I need you. Your brother needs you. Please, please, please don't abandon us. Brother. I couldn't even think the word without wanting to scream. The family fallout was nuclear. My aunt blamed my mother. My grandmother blamed Ethan. My cousins made memes out of it. Someone posted a vague status on Facebook about men with no loyalty and women with no shame. My mom shut off her phone. Ethan deleted his social media. I stayed silent. Silence was my only shield. But eventually, the storm settled into a suffocating quiet. And in that quiet, I had to decide. Do I cut them both out forever? Or do I find a way to live with the truth? The answer came unexpectedly, the first time I visited my grandmother weeks later. She hugged me and said, "My sweet girl, sometimes life punches you in the stomach. Hard. You don't have to forgive anyone. But you do have to choose how you carry the pain." I cried into her shoulder for a long time. Because she was right. I couldn't change what happened. I couldn't unsee the betrayal. I couldn't erase the horror movie my life had become. But I could choose my ending. So here's what I chose. I cut Ethan out permanently. No contact. No closure. No explanations. He made his choice when he stepped forward in that hospital room. My mom. I didn't forgive her. But I didn't abandon her either. Instead, I did something my therapist later called controlled distance. I visit sometimes. I talk to her sometimes. I let her see that I'm alive, but not that I'm broken. And my brother, he's innocent. He didn't ask to be born into this mess. I hold him sometimes. I feed him sometimes. I let him sleep on my chest. And every time I do, I remember the moment Ethan stepped forward and called himself the father. But I also remember something else. He's not the one who will define this child's future. I will. Because I'm still the responsible one. Even if life tried to crush me. Even if betrayal tried to poison me. I survived. And maybe, just maybe, that's my victory.